Nowhere bore the burden of financial woe worse than Westfall. Once the breadbasket of the entire southern kingdom, neglect and warfare, as well as foolish spending and deliberate sabotage, had left lands long since fallow. Refugees and vagrants regularly poured into the Golden Plains, hoping for whatever scraps of food and shelter they could find. Into this despondent environment strode the champions, and stumbled onto an unusual sight. Oh, not the scores of bums and homeless, but rather the murdered Frillbrow farmers and their horse, Old Blanchy. The investigation into this twisted and turned oddly. It was very clean and precise, a deliberately painless death. The champions enlisted the aid of a local bum, learning of an ogre named Glubtalk who was bribed into submission, and returning to find the bum executed for his troubles. Undeterred, the champions pushed further in towards Sentinel Hill, assisting the young Hope Saldean in offering food to the homeless, and learning of a violent worgen recently captured, Ripsnarl, as well as a rogue goblin named Helix Gearbreaker who was negotiating something to do with the local township of Moonbrook. People distributed propaganda pamphlets to the disenfranchised of Moonbrook, and the champion rogue infiltrated a rally where a young woman denounced King Varian, Stormwind, and the Alliance as a whole. The crowd ate it up, sick and tired of wars built on their backs and being delivered only destitution in return. Using a sacred Vrykul vision ritual learned in Northrend, the rogue saw a snippet of the past. Edwin Van Cleef's death some years prior, witnessed by his teenage daughter, Vanessa. Vanessa Van Cleef had spent the last several years very carefully and slowly maneuvering pieces into place to rebuild the Brotherhood, seeking revenge on those who had killed her father. Adopted by the Frillbrows and hiding herself as Hope Saldean, she coordinated a raid on Sentinel Hill which crippled the Westfall Brigade and permanently damaged Alliance forces in the area. Obviously unable to let this pass, the champions were tasked with charging into the Deadmines, as their adventurer predecessors had, to snuff out the Defias for good. Glubtalk, the ogre mage, had accidentally destroyed his own home in a fit of rage when he was younger, and this proved prophetic as the fool had no real control over his powers, destroying himself in the end. Helix was ex-Bilgewater, but was offered a tidy sum to assist in designing Defias constructs, such as the Foe Reaper 5000, an advanced development of the old Harvester models, built more for combat than field work. James Harrington murdered his own family when first afflicted with the Worgen curse, forever after taking the name Ripsnarl. This left only the architect of the Defias designs, the captain of the Juggernaut, Cookie. Cookie was actually the Defias chef back in the day, and now insisted on being captain of the ship he cooked for. But no, at the end was Vanessa. The younger Van Cleef was nowhere near as skilled in combat as her father and was no match for the champions, especially their rogue. So instead she utilized her own speciality, poisons. The champions had to run a gauntlet in their own nightmare, facing whispering fears of their former foes before fighting the young woman directly. Though of course, even still, this is not a straight fight, as she summoned minions and flung explosives, seeking to outperform her drastically superior enemies. In the end, she decided to take her own life, ending things on her own terms. With this, Westfall is left worse than ever before, with all the problems of the old further burdened with the problems of the new.